I'm your host, Donna Cates, and each week we'll dive into powerful stories, expert strategies, and practical tools to help you take charge of your financial future. Whether you're planning for retirement, navigating a divorce, or simply looking to build your wealth with confidence, this is your space to grow, learn, and thrive. Let's get started with today's podcast. Hello, everyone. I'm Donna Cates, and I'm really excited to have you here today and to introduce you to Valerie Bertele. She is a venture capitalist and an angel investor and one of the smartest young women I think I know. So I'm excited for her to delve deep into her career journey with us. So, Valerie, if you'll give us about a 90-second overview of the work that you do and why you got into it, that'd be a great place to start.
Donna, thank you so much. My pleasure to be here. And we talked about that being a woman in the industry of finance and venture capital is still a rare occasion. So for me, I was a scientist in the beginning. Then moving into tech and then moving into investments. And very often I was still the only woman and also young woman at the table. So I see myself as a bigger mission to empower women to understand how money works and get them to get the seat at the table, from venture capital all the way to family offices where I also work. So for me, I have three main buckets or three main hats. I'm working as a venture capitalist here in San Francisco, investing in early stage companies, mostly in fintech, future of work, and also education. It's a really big area. And I came from a family of teachers. My mom, my grandmother, they're all teachers. So for me, investing back into how education is transforming, it's a big personal mission. The second area, I work with governments. I have my own company called Syntellis. I'll be posting about this actually this week in my Substack. I advise governments not just on AI policy and digitalization, but helping to build a bridge between White House and Silicon Valley. We all see that there's disconnect and that people still not understanding like how the tech is going to change and what policies do we need to have in place to make this happen. And the last part, but not the least, it's content creation. I work as a Silicon Valley as a media outlet, and I talk a lot about investing, women empowerment, family offices, and also there's a large transition happening that I think almost 2/3 of all the assets by 2030 will be in hands of women. And how is it going to change not just the venture capital, but in general the asset allocation around the world? So I want to be part of that journey and help to empower more women to have control of finances.
And ladies, I don't know if you heard this or not, but in less than 5 years, we are going to have more ownership of all of the money out there. That's
100%.
huge, right? And I'm just to add a little bit of flavor to it, Valerie. I think I've shared with you that I do a lot of work with divorcing women, and I'm amazed at the number of women, married or not married. We kind of take a back seat to the money when it comes to our personal finances because we just say, "I don't have enough time. If he likes to do it, we're going to let him do it." But the reality is it's not an if, but a when. We're going to be managing stuff on our own. So that's why I'm really excited to know that there's someone like you out there helping us to get educated. So thank you for being here and doing that. So I want to learn with you because you're basically doing three different things. You're involved in many organizations and doing a lot. What is the biggest problem that you're seeing in the industry in general right now, and how are you working to solve that?
I think if I elevate myself from a gender topic, which is still very close to me, I think the big problem is a lot of smart people don't know how to pitch their ideas to get funded, right? It can be a lot of female founders. I've worked with female health company called Flo, for example. It's a unicorn built by two amazing men, but it's kind of almost like a shame that women couldn't build. It's a period tracker. It's something that it's a women's product, right? But women, I think, still disadvantaged in a way that they couldn't pitch to the right people or couldn't convince investor that they are the right people to get the fundings to scale and to grow those companies. So I still see women-led companies, minorities-led companies, and also really special deep tech products because I come from academia. I see so many brilliant scientists they just can't sell in a way. And I mean like selling your ideas to get them to the market, to the traction. So for me, it's a big pain point, and that's the reason I'm on the finance side. I'm on a capital away from academia, helping to bring those smart ideas to life.
That is so brilliant. And I think that the message for a lot of women is to know that I don't know. I'm kind of hesitating in my words here because I know so many women say they can't sell. And I'm going, oh, girlfriend, you sell something every single day. You sold your spouse on getting married. You're going to sell him on what you're going to have for dinner tonight. We're always selling. So I think a lot of the stigma comes with having to sell something that we're creating to somebody else. So you're giving voice and power to them and educating them on how to
Donna,
present.
I will give you a personal story. I remember my
Yes,
first husband. I was actually married. So that story when you said I was an investor already, I had my own money, but I kind of felt like my husband is better at that. And then only after divorce, I kind of got angry and I just, okay, I'm going to learn all of it. And now I'm like, this is easy. Like we all have to know that. But what my husband used to push me for, we met when I was in academia and he was like, you're actually a good salesperson. You can sell, you can do business development. So he encouraged me to get out of academia and to get more into corporates. And I remember I was so offended. For me, it was not just the women, but also like as a scientist, like how dare he call me this a cheap salesperson? Like I'm actually having a depth and the knowledge. And now I'm actually comfortable saying, yes, I'm good at selling. I'm good at selling ideas, good at selling people. So you really have to distinguish like what do you really mean? And I agree with you. We all have to sell every day, all the time, from our children to our spouses to a bigger capital allocators. You just need to be comfortable saying, yes, this is what I do, and I want to get better at that.
absolutely. Thank you for sharing that personal story. So, and I think a lot of us, we just, when we think, we hear the word sales, we're thinking of the sleazy car salesman or whatever that's just trying to pull something over on us. So we've got to get rid of that connotation and know that what we have is valuable and that we're all providing something of value to people and learning how to articulate that. So I would love to know what makes you unique in the way that you're helping others.
It actually took me some time to understand like what am I really like value. In Stanford, they teach you value creation, like what is your value, and then value capture, which is a financial part, how to make money at what you're creating, right? For me, I think my unique skill set, I moved between not just industries, but also continent. I lived in France, Belarus, China, Australia, US. So I've seen a lot of different cultures, mindsets, and also seeing the similarities and differences between people and how they approach business and how they approach money. So for me, it's this really global mindset, many languages, different industries. As an investor, I can make a better decisions knowing, okay, if this is maybe something scientific, I know who to reach out for due diligence, or also just analyzing how people in America versus China will be approaching a different problem. So for me, it's I think a global mindset definitely makes me a better investor compared to others.
Oh, that's awesome. So where do you see the industry going in the next 5 to 10 years and how are you staying on top of it?
I don't want to be repeating everybody, but I think AI is a huge tectonic shift. It's a big wave. I've seen something similar in genetics when I was finishing science. I like to draw those parallels. When I finished high school in 2006, there was a human genome project, meaning all the scientists around the world got, I think, $2 million, which was like really huge number to sequence one human genome. And now it's just a routine procedure and the price drops significantly. So I'm seeing AI is one of those like sequencing to be able to understand for DNA, it's understanding what's our health is about, like because DNA is basically this code. But with AI, we able to understand much deeper. We want to get all the knowledge around the world for your personal use. So I'm comparing AI as a driving license. You not necessarily need to know how to build a car. Like yesterday, my car broke down. I have no idea what's going on in that engine. Something was leaking out. I have to call a professional. But I can get a license and I can drive that car to my destination. So AI is you need to have a license knowing how to use it, how to operate it in your life, in your business, in your work, and what's the destination you're going to drive that to. So you see such a huge divide. Some people don't even use it daily, like not even, okay, there's something exists, I never tried it. Versus some of us, we're already building agents that are using AI as like orchestrating things for us, orchestrating tools. So there's a huge divide. And I think we all have to be using it daily. Like I literally have a sticker, can I use AI for it? Change the mindset how you do things from for yourself, for your children, for pretty much every aspect of life. I think it's not a hype. I'm seeing it from the bottom of the early startups that are emerging to a large corporates, how they're changing. Like there was a quite a sad article. The recent graduates, just recently, people graduate from college, and they say they are entering the lowest economy in the last 40 years, meaning they're directly competing with AI tools or agents for the human, for the labor jobs, for like real skills. So if it's not telling you that now is the time, then I don't know what else can convince you.
Right. Well, and so many things that you said, I think are important. The fact that AI, that this is happening so quickly, AI didn't just start happening yesterday. Number
No,
one, it's been back there for a while.
20,
It's
30
just
years.
now being, in the
Exactly.
forefront, in front of mind for us. Just like, when the internet came about. You were still a kid, right?
Yes, but I use it. I remember this calling and you hear the modem like clicking out there.
Yeah.
Yep, I think I'm still the generation that was like kind of transitioning, but yeah, we're the last one that remembered kind of that internet that used to be through the phone. Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, is to know that we are always evolving. I mean, to think that, none of us, hardly anybody has a landline in their homes anymore. And now
Yep.
we all walk around with a mini computer as a phone, so it's just being engaged and learning and willing to learn how to, use the new tools. I think that's really important. The other thing is the letting go of the fear that we're going to be replaced by AI,
Yep.
because AI can do all of the research and the digging and the pulling together and stuff, but it can't replace the human
You
element.
still need the human, 100%. Yes.
Got to have the human element. So yeah, so we're
It's
we're all
working
with you.
together, working together.
That is right. That's right. To me, it's going to be a huge time saver for most everybody if we
100%.
learn how to use it. So I would love for you to share with us what might have been the biggest challenge that you faced thus far in your life, whether that's personal or professional, and how it's shaping the way that you do business today.
I was reading yesterday a book, I think it's called by Adam Grant, Think Differently or something. And one of the chapters was about greed. And it really resonated with me because a lot of people think greed is the most important thing, like keep pushing, persevering. But he's bringing different perspective that a lot of people, he gave an example of his cousin who by his parents said you need to be a neurosurgeon, and he spent literally like 20 years of his life kind of keep pushing, but he never really wanted to do that, and now he's in depression and he's like, I wish I changed earlier. So for me, like talking about difficulties, it's I'm trying to understand like where do you need to push, where do you need to have this grit, and when you say getting out of your comfort zone, really developing through challenges versus making a decision you have to stop, you have to pivot, or maybe that's the wrong direction for you to go. So for me, it's not just it's a challenge. Just like what's the right decision, like decision making process. I think that's the hardest part. And also, if I'm thinking about investments, it's not just invest or not invest. It's a hard question, but I think even harder once you have this company and it's growing, then you're deciding: are you selling it right now as a liquidity right to like a higher bidder or like on the secondaries, or you doubling down? So I think for me, all of this is a decision making process, and I missed some unicorns because I was not making the decision on the right time. So identifying when to pursue versus pivot, and I think that's I don't know if I answer your question directly, but that's a hard part for me to make the right decisions, or also making the decision and making it right.
Well, and what I loved about what you said is the pivoting, because that's the thing, is we can make it, we can have a challenge and we can ignore it and do nothing, or we can say, ooh, let's evaluate that situation, let's figure it out, and then we pick a direction, but we may not pivot. I mean, go the right way, so we pivot. Yeah, that's the thing, is always being willing to pivot and deal with whatever life brings us. I think that's
And I
important.
think for you with decision making, like as a if you're helping people with investments, right? Let's say you make a big investments. Are you going to sell when it's high, or maybe if it's not doing well, like are you going to be, diversifying and actually selling that underperforming asset? So it's making the right decision in the right time.
Correct. I love that too. Awesome. So I want to ask, if you could have lunch with anybody, living or deceased, who would you choose to lunch with and why?
I've been last couple of years ago when I started building my leadership trajectory, I start reading literally like the best biography of women as leaders. And for me, I really admire Margaret Thatcher. I think she was, she was an Iron Lady. Not everybody likes her, but she built a tremendous career, tremendous success. She's done so many reforms for the government. So I would love to have a lunch with that incredibly strong. And she was one of the first women on that level, just orchestrating not just one country, but being a powerhouse across the continent. So for me, she's a big inspiration, and I would love to have a chance to talk to her.
That would be fabulous. That's all. And she's not the first time. That's not the first time she's come up. So a common one
Really
was
interesting. She has a few really good biography books, how she was like building career. And also what I really like in the beginning, she was making a decision. She couldn't win the party. Like she wanted to get a particular position. She lost. And then she's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to pivot. I will wait. She had two kids. She had twins. And then she came back even stronger when the party dynamics changed. And then she had her trajectory. So it's not about maybe she decided not to push for that particular area, just accept the loss, wait a little bit, and then come back even stronger. So I really, really enjoyed those stories.
Awesome. Okay, another book for me to put to my reading list. Okay. So I would love for you to share with our audience the best way for them to reach out to you if they want to learn more about the work that you do and how to be involved. How do they do that?
If you want to personally reach out, the best one is LinkedIn. I'm very active there as a content creator. My DMs are always open, and that's easier to break through the noise than emails because it's just always clogged up. If you're building a company, if you're building a startup, you can also apply directly through our website, yellowrocks.vc. So you submit your company there, and my analyst and my team will be able to see it and bring it back to me saying, hey, we've seen this startup. They mentioned your name. Don't forget to mention my name there, and it will come onto my table to review as well.
Oh, fabulous. Okay, awesome. And I'm working with a lot of women right now. I call them the career changers. So they're the corporate people that are tired of living in the corporate world and making that shift to their own businesses. And some of those are in the tech space too. So I need to make those connections for you.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you. And this is something I've done as well. I left the corporates. I decided to start investing, and also my government consulting. It's my company that evolved into what is my value? What can I bring connecting to really different worlds? And I'm also building it for the last 2 years. It's been a journey.
That's awesome. And I only see a bright future ahead for you.
Thank you, Donna. It
You're very welcome. Thanks for being a guest today.
was my pleasure. I appreciate
I
it.
hope today's conversation left you feeling inspired, informed, and ready to take the next step in your financial journey. Remember, building wealth isn't just about money, it's also about creating a life that aligns with your goals and values. If you found this episode valuable, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with the women in your life who deserve financial empowerment too. Until next time, stay confident, stay empowered, and keep building the life you desire.